What's up, ladies and gentlemen? As I, the goof, dealing with insects. I apologize. So, I don't know about the rest of you, but I've noticed that games and the graphic capabilities of games are not going to go anywhere else. We've kind of reached that law of diminishing returns. What does that mean? It means there's not much more you can do. We've reached the plateau, which is what Mr. Yoshida says, but we've all noticed that those leaps and bounds that we were seeing between console generations have gotten to where it's hard to tell anymore. You just, what are we doing? What are we doing? And it's taking longer and longer to release games. Games are getting more and more expensive to develop. It's ridiculous. But Shuhei Yoshida says Sony can't keep increasing graphics power, noting even he can't tell the difference between some of the graphical capabilities anymore. By the way, this comes from PSU.com, and I believe it came from somewhere else, and then they regurgitated it. Oh, yeah. He was on the Friends Per Second podcast. Never freaking heard of it. That's a dumb name. Anyhow, and he said that he doesn't see the difference in the graphics capabilities anymore. He can't tell the difference between ray traced or not ray traced. He's just like, that's it. It's like, what are we going to do? And he even mentions how they can't keep releasing new consoles with new graphical capabilities and have it be at a price point people can afford. It's like, that's it. And he's right. Personally, this is how I feel about it. I feel that games should become more stable and run at a stable frame rate rather than being prettier. I think we're far enough. I don't even care if a game looks realistic or not. Most games that I enjoy aren't realistic anymore. I think most of us just want games that flow. You know what I mean by flow? Like, it's the frames per second keeps up at a steady pace. It's fun to play. That's where we're focused at. That's where it should be focused at. And this is also why I've said console makers should stop making consoles. Like, get to a comfortable point and then just figure other things out. You can't keep releasing new hardware. You got to focus on the software side of things. Of course, Nintendo's going to always try and innovate, which, I don't know, they have innovated quite a bit over the years. I mean, let's look back at around the time the Nintendo 64 came out and the original PlayStation. So the PlayStation came out, and the original controller, if you're not familiar, basically was a Super Nintendo controller with grips. I think it maybe also had the triggers at the back, like, so it had shoulder buttons and triggers. But I think that's all it had, and I might be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure I'm not wrong about that. But then basically Sony saw the Nintendo 64, the controllers having the rumble packs and the single analog stick. So Sony basically said, you know what? Let's double the sticks. Let's include the rumble. Let's update these controllers and let's go from there. So they iterated on what Nintendo innovated on, and that's why we have that saying that Nintendo innovates, Sony imitates. Which, I don't know, that's not really the case anymore, though, is it? Really? I mean, let's look at the Switch too. Like, what did they innovate on? There's not really much in the way of innovation on that thing. Not really. If they could figure out a way to do light gun games with actual, like, light sensor, like in the old days on HD TVs, that would be great. If they could figure out some way to update that instead of using motion controls and aiming to do, to do that kind of game, the shooter games and everything that we used to have, the arcade shooting games. Light gun games. I digress, though. I digress. I think software is where the focus needs to be. I think constantly releasing new hardware is stupid. I think even Microsoft, maybe to an extent, realizes this. They see the writing on the wall. And that's why they're like, well, we can't keep releasing hardware, so let's just release software. Let's have the, you know, whatever. I don't know. I don't really know what's going on in Microsoft's head. I know that Xbox is practically dead. But here's the thing, if you don't keep releasing new hardware for whatever reason, then things stagnate. So in a way, they kind of got to keep releasing new hardware. But he goes, I think PS5 is amazing, is an amazing system in terms of quality of experience. I think the adoption of SSD was like an almost miracle. I think PS5 and SSD has made almost every game a better game. Yoshida has been busy on the interview circuit since he departed Sony early this year, among which included touching on the as yet announced PS6, where he said it feels right for the console to launch in 2028. Meanwhile, a separate interview saw him reveal that he was passed over for the role of PlayStation CEO, claiming Sony didn't trust me to make the best business decisions. In other words, those other money grubbing people were like, this guy's more of an innovator. He's not going to focus on the money for us, you know? He's more of a tinkerer and he's more on the side of gamers. That's not good for us. We want a numbers guy in there, kind of like what Nintendo did. Nintendo put a numbers guy in charge of Nintendo of Japan, which is, you know, oversees all of Nintendo. And I don't think that's good. I don't think that's great. I don't think that was the right way to go, honestly. But what are we going to do? What are we going to do? I think if the industry does kind of crash. Oh, also notice something. Let's back up a second. He said 2028. Do you know why 2028? Because we'll be rid of Trump by then. We'll have the tariff shit taken care of by then. And they can probably release something at a less astronomical price. These tariffs are ruining a lot of things. The tariffs are ridiculous. Trump is ridiculous. I hate to go into politics, but he's causing a lot of issues for our hobby. He just is. He doesn't understand it because he doesn't understand anything. I really wish I could run for president. In 2028, if I could, I would run for president. If I could, yeah, I would be president if I could. I don't think I would ever be able to be president, but I would. I think this country needs somebody like me as president because I actually give a shit. Because I care about people. I care about this country. I care about doing the right thing, and what's been happening isn't the right thing. But that's neither here nor there. But as far as the industry goes, I think we'll be in a better place in the industry once Trump is gone. Maybe he'll be gone before then. We'll get lucky. I don't know. But yeah, the law of diminishing returns is in full effect here. And I think that's why Nintendo drags their feet on state-of-the-art visuals. Which, by the way, am I the only one that wishes Nintendo would just release a Switch that's only a home console? Like, because that's something I want. I don't care about having a dual functioning device, you know, with a dock and whatnot. And it would probably cost a lot less if they just released a home console. They're not going to, but I don't know. I don't know. But even AAA developers are taking longer and longer, and then we have all the firings going on. And now there's indie exploding. Indie games are exploding, and I think that's where we're gonna go. Anyhow, I'm done. This has been a goof.